And I did notice the Chief Development Officer building out their business development team, hiring on seat.
You don't need too many hands on deck to do a share buyback plan, do you?
Business development equals M&A, Matty.
This one was very interesting. So
caught us off guard this one. We look at the photo and recognise all of the logos on the map, except for one.
G'day, money miners. Thursday, 8th of June. Is JD back next week?
When he gets back, he's going to take... I think the first thing he's going to say to us is, good to be back, fellas. I think the length of your podcast is too bloody long.
Well, I'll be like, pretty much fuck off, JD. You've been away 3 weeks. This is how it's running now.
And then he's going to say, I think the explicit language in the podcast is too much.
Yeah, well, there you go. That's not changing. I've added it in. You've approved it, technically. Well, you haven't disapproved it, which means you've approved it. So, and Bogan Geologist loved it. Mate, head back, everyone. Have a listen to our little WA1 spectacular yesterday. Bloody brilliant. Had a couple of Twitter folk on. Bogan Geologist and Emmanuel Dat, who people call Manny. I called him Datty, which can be confused with Daddy. But
Daddy
mate,
Dat.
Mr. Dat. He's all dat. Mate, it was a good episode, eh, Trav?
I thought it was
Loved
awesome.
it.
Yeah, I really liked it. I think
Very detailed from the lads.
It's kind of cool. You put, Bogan Geologist, this pseudonymous, smart Twitter guy, on the same call with, this bloody professional finance fund manager guy. And it was just great content. I think they've done, a few Twitter spaces together before, so it wasn't their first time talking together. But it's just, I don't know, I really like that dynamic, Matty. A bit like you and I, mate, the professional guy and the rugged guy.
It just works. It just works, doesn't it?
I
did like Bogan Geologist's comments about, even though, as he said, he's balls deep in WA1, or him and his mates, his family, and the local Uber drivers. But as he said, he is still looking for red flags. He hasn't found significant ones yet, but as soon as they come up, he will voice them. So he's you'd say a bit of an independent share market philanthropist.
Oh, he's not independent. He owns a shitload. Well, he owns a bunch of it. So
but he works independently.
Yeah.
He's not.
He's not. Yeah, conflicted from third parties is how I think about it.
Yeah. So I think I like Bogan's work. So appreciate you coming on, lads.
That was awesome,
Manny and Bogan. Right, today, Trav, short and sharp, because tomorrow, everyone, we've got Mark Williams coming on.
Yep.
MD of Red 5.
Yep.
Now, considering their last couple of months of improved performance, we thought, why not get Mark on we're not going to focus on the past. The past is a past that's been done to death by everyone with Red 5. We want to talk about the future, I guess, where these operations are heading, whether they can maintain this steady state ounce output, and hopefully see a bit of a turnaround. So
yeah, it's a good announcement yesterday. So they had record production despite, having to close the mill for a couple of days.
4-day mill shutdown. Still got 19,000 ounces. Everyone's predicting around that 200. So and their 19,000 gives you, what's that? 228,000 a year. So
that's
with 4-day mill shutdown. So they seem like they've got to the better parts of the pit, the higher grade portions of the pit, got through the oxide, be keen to talk about how they're going to maximise what's coming out of the underground, which is obviously the higher grade, and how this big 4.7 million tonne mill is going to work long term. So should be a good chat. Looking forward to that, Trav.
Me too, mate.
Mate, should we start with the recap, or you want to start with Trav's top tweets?
Oh, what do you reckon,
mate? I reckon Trav's top tweet.
All right.
Yeah. I reckon we'll rip into the recap.
I
don't know. Oh, geez, I'm indecisive.
Oh, we'll go the recap. We'll do a recap.
Right, we'll go the recap. So, what do we got? Westgold. Westgold reports another record production month from the Bluebird Underground. So, 49,000 tonne coming out, delivering 6.3 thousand ounces. So, that's for the month of May. So,
yes,
this is in parallel to the takeover time for Musgrave.
Oh, yeah, mate. Good to have Wayne on this week, by the way. But this is in the spirit. You've got to put out good news flow, Matty, when you've got a takeover offer denominated in your script. Got to make sure the market knows that script is worth a bit. So you got to have a good lineup of good news flow.
Yes, and look, I know we talked about it the other day. Like And, Wayne's charmed us a bit. I like Wayne because he comes on. He fronts the camera. He's great to have on, but a bit of a, would you call it not a silent assassin, but I think I look at him as a very clever man, like this whole Musgrave thing. As we said the other day, Ramelius have just finished their takeover of Breaker. You've got Silver Lake and St. Barbara, Silver Lake in the St. Barbara mix. You've also, I guess you've got, who else you got? You got Gascoigne drilling the hell out of their deposit. You got Evolution just recently come out the other day saying they're doing the mill upgrade for Mungara.
So you're convinced it was an opportunistic bid?
I reckon it's a very calculated timing from Wayne and Westgold to put this bid forward now, considering what all the other potential sweeters are up to. What do you think, Trav?
The calculated charmer.
Is that a fair analysis, do you think?
I think it's plausible. I mean, it could be either way, to be honest. I could see both sides of it. So, and I think the confusion speaks to the calculated charm, So yeah.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just like, no, he can't be. There's a lot more to this fella.
Yeah.
Oh, Wayne, he's in me head. Right now, I suppose speaking of something that's a bit unfortunate for a company that is proposing a deal for Scrip. Silver Lake gave an update on their Sugar Zone operation. So because they had bushfires over there that's not yet under control, the bushfire, and the site access is restricted to essential staff only. So there's been some damage to a power line. So the operation is currently running on backup diesel. So they expect mining and processing activities to resume 19th of June once power is fully restored there. So I think I've seen this fire being announced in other companies as well. There must be some significant bushfires in North America at the moment.
Yeah, not good news. Yeah, uncontrollable this one, but unfortunate when part of their offer is denominated in Silver Lake Scrip. You wouldn't want this. Opposite to the Westgold news flow, but yeah, uncontrollable.
Yeah. Now, BlackRock Mining. Out raising money today, Trav. $8 million with a free attaching option to participants. So they've got the
Mahenge.
Bloody, I'll get there eventually. Mahenge graphite deposit in Tanzania.
Yeah.
So tickling the shaking the tin, as we say.
Yeah, they come up with all these POSCO announcements recently. So you can probably tell that would pave the way to raise a bit of money off it. But you look at this and it's it's a raise that still includes a free attaching OPI. So it looks like even when you have these agreements with the big brand name, it's not like it's easy to do the equity still.
So what do you mean by that? Go into that free attaching option, Trav.
It's basically like you as a participant in the placement, you get a free option. I can't see the terms of this one, but I read somewhere it's one for free. But basically, like it's a bit of extra upside to you as a shareholder and the company. If they do really well and the share price goes up, those OPIs become in the money and they end up diluting all other shareholders. So it's a bit of a kicker to participating shareholders in this placement at the expense of existing shareholders.
Yeah.
But you sometimes you have to throw it in order to get a deal done. Just to incentivize people to participate. So in this case, company had good news flow, but this raise still has an attaching OPI.
Now, Solus Minerals SLM, a recent little bolter this week. They were sitting at around 13, 14 cents, now up to 77 cents, traded as high as that, nearly bloody just below $1. So the Solus are dual listed, so multiple listed. Looks like they've got a TSX listing, they've got a OTC and a Grants one as well.
I always get I can never understand why an exploration company has 4 listings. Like you're just chewing up compliance and like compliance fees there for bloody very low benefit in my opinion.
Yeah, so this has all come from they've executed the option to acquire the Jaguar lithium project in Brazil.
Yeah.
Geez, we're trying a different thing with the mouse today, but it's we're a bit all over the shop. So now Latin Resources are the major shareholder in Solus in their Australian listing, so it's 17.9. So it's going to be an interesting one here, Trav.
Well, when you put this on
big bolter,
when you put it on the recap today, I got to admit Maddie, I got nervous. I was like, oh no, we're not bloody promoting a bloody, tiny company again, are we? I was half expecting to look at the market cap and see like $3 million or something like that. But it's actually hard to find the total number of shares on issue with this one because they've got the Canadian CDIs, and I did from what I can tell, like on a post transaction basis after they issue all the shares for this, option agreement, whatever, then it looks like their fully diluted market cap, including other oppies on issue, is about 75, 80 million bucks.
Yeah, right. And then this is like second line says they've spodumene grades in oxidized pegmatite up to 4.95% from rock chips.
Well, I mean, this is the theme going on the ASX right now. How many of these bloody, ASX companies that were doing something else before have all got these options to acquire these lithium assets? There's a bunch of them happening, especially in Quebec right now. But on some, some questionable ground that hasn't really, got any geological reporting of being, prospective for lithium, and then they do a capital raise off the back of it, and then there's all these performance rights that rinse out, and it all, yeah. I mean, it's a theme, right? Because lithium market participants are the only ones sort of still being active in the equity market, and I think that's sort of driving some of the activity of the acquisitions. I don't know if this project's any good or not. I'm just talking about a broad theme.
But it's obviously a cornerstone play from Latin. They're cornerstoning this company to go to further exploration, and if it comes up trumps, then they will take it over, you would assume. So that seems to be where it's heading. So now, something that caught our eye today, Brightstar, they caught our attention today. Brightstar put out this investor press, and it was in after we noticed some of the comments about toll treating and stuff at Gwalia the other day. Building Western Australia's next gold miner, big Alex Rivera, is putting it on the block.
Australia's he's coming next into gold town. Miner. He's caught me off guard, I got to admit, Matty. Like I'd sort of been following the company just from a bloody ancillary perspective. I knew it was the old Stone Resources, which is super troubling, and then they became Brightstar, merged with King West, and rebranded, got change of management. Looked like they cleaned up some of the old baggage. So, but then they come out with this bloody being WA's next gold producer, and then I'm reading there's a toll milling agreement with St. Barbara. I had no idea any ore was going to Gwalia from. I'm a St. Barbara shareholder, mate. I thought I was across it.
Yeah.
But I'm not.
God, you got to do more. We've both got to do more DD on our holdings. It appears, Trav.
$500 is at risk.
Well, and if you go back to the King West announcements, 28th of March this year, so they executed a toll milling agreement with St. Barbara for this Selkirk mining joint venture. So they got a 50-50 with a private company. So it's only for 30,000 tons of ore from this, and it's supposed to be coming out. So
it's not much.
30,000 ton at whatever gram it might be. Sub 10,000 ounces.
Yeah, I think Gwalia already had some toll treating arrangements in place. Like there was, what was that one they were trying to IPO? It was like Linden Alliance.
Oh, right.
Yeah, I think they bought Second Fortune Gold Mine off of Nova back. It's all unlisted, but they're trying to IPO.
Yeah. So this is obviously a little snatch and grab. It's for like a cutback of their existing pit at this Selkirk joint venture. So you would assume that if that agreement's already been signed by St. Barbara, then assuming Genesis then take over, this agreement would still be in play with Genesis, or would it need to be re-signed? That's how it works.
Yeah. I mean, the agreement would be with the subsidiary company, and then like Genesis are acquiring that.
Yeah. Right. So you got. Okay, and another thing that sparked the interest was this whole region. So they put up a good, a good overview, a good picture of this whole Menzies, Laverton, Leonora whole region, even working up north to Duketon and everything, showing that. And you look at I guess there's a lot of private tenements within this as well. So,
and we're looking at this because we're obviously bloody balls deep in Leonora, and just wondering how, like, if there is an aim to consolidate it. Who are you consolidating? Who are the players, right?
Exactly. And and also looking at when a company comes out and says, like, look, we're planning to mine. Like, I think that's another thing that we're like, oh, geez, that's in this environment, it's a very big thing to live up to actually execute it. So,
yeah, well, if they're not toll if they're not building a mill, then you don't have the huge capex up front, but mobilizing a fleet and everything like that,
exactly. So that Selkirk JV, so this is the one near Menzies, the one that's going to toll treat. So that's a JV with BML, and so it says here in the initial toll treating announcement, this is by King West, that BML is responsible for all capital costs, mining and haulage, with profits split on an even 50-50 basis upon reconciliation of gold sales and project costs.
So the mining contractor is splitting profits 50-50 with Brightstar, and that's after they pay $1 per tonne.
Oh, they'd pay, what are they? I think they work at, I think it's like usually $50 a tonne to toll treat.
I'm not sure.
I think that's the back of the envelope. Depends what it is. 50. Yeah. I remember someone saying $50 a tonne.
Yeah. So the economics get divvied up a bit here. So yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So anyway, that's it. But it's only for 30,000 tonne. So,
yeah.
But yeah, they're I guess once we start looking at the region, so that's the Menzies area. So they've got a lot of exploration potential there by the sounds in that Menzies region. They've got a resource there, but I think they're going to drill out and focus on the high grade. If you head over to Laverton now, so they've got the Brightstar plant. So that's the plant just east of Laverton.
Yep.
So
do you know when that was last operating? So it's been in care and maintenance a while, right?
Oh, don't know. I know it's said Como engineers have said it's only about $5.5 million to refurbish it. And expand it to 650,000 tonne per annum.
Nah, just put a line through that number.
Oh, is that because GR's not doing it?
No, it's just it's a silly number, right? I remember back in the day when Middle Island were bloody putting out, only $8 million to restart the sandstone plant. And if you ever looked at a photo of it, it was clearly not going to be that much.
Yeah, well, that was a report Como's put out in 2021.
Yeah, no.
So things have changed
no way.
there. So anyway,
when you're on care and maintenance, you know how things are, mate. Like pump start breaking things. There's just a whole bunch of software doesn't get updated. All this stuff happens. Yeah.
So that'll come out in the scoping, I guess. So that they've got that plant, they've got their ground out that way, but then we're looking out Laverton past Mount Morgans, and you've got this magnetic resources.
Yeah,
this one was very very interesting. So
caught us off guard this one. We looked at the photo and recognised all of the logos on the map except for one.
Mate, yeah, and then we started looking at, I guess, the cap of it. I think Brightstar, with all this going on, I think they're just above 20 million.
Tiny market cap.
Yeah, tiny market cap. But then we come across this magnetic resources, and so we do a bit of digging there. So they've got 600,000 ounces at 1.4 grams. So 600,000 ounce resource, 1.4, 400,000 that is inferred. They've got a lot of ground out of Laverton. You look at their capitalisation summary here, $165 million market cap, fully diluted.
Wow.
So they've got and you look at the share price, and they've halved. Like, they were up near $1.40. They're sitting down around sitting around 72 cents now. So they've halved. They've got 600,000 ounces, no infrastructure or nothing. They did have some ground up near Julimar, but it's all attributed to this Laverton thing, and very, very tightly Chinese held, it appears. So you look at the top shareholders here. So only just under 30% are retail, 20% in board and management. And then you've got, Chun Kong Lim, 6.6%. Jim Seng Own, 15%. Another Target Range and Elcock Super Fund, 10.7%.
It's a mystery, this one.
Yeah.
I reckon when you see something like this,
very tightly held, no liquidity.
Yeah, you got to look at just whenever you sort of buy in shares to the punters, just look at the daily volume and just always factor in, if I needed to sell my position, can I really do it without moving the share price too much? And for some companies that appear to have a really high valuation and you can't back solve their value, often what you'll see is low turnover of the stock, low volume. So no real ability to actually realize that value if you wanted to sell.
But that's a pretty phenomenal phenomenal fully diluted market cap for 600,000 low grade ounces. Hey, Trav.
It doesn't make much sense to me.
And you go into their one of their presentations. They talk about this, and they've repeated this for a lot of presentations that you looked at, Trav. This strategic review, part 3 of this journey plan. Review opportunities to maximize shareholder value. That's a good start. All shareholders want that.
Which means sale process.
Appointment of strategic review advisor and global investment bank Jefferies. So, and at the bottom,
so that's strange, right? Because like Jefferies don't have a presence here, really. Like,
where are they?
Well, I think that most of the stuff's in the US, but it's a pretty unusual like bank to nominate for a sale process, especially if it just doesn't make much sense.
Well, they're not hiding it. It says maximize shareholder value, including assessment of all potential transaction options. I think that transaction's only going in one direction, is sell.
Well, I don't think anyone's going to pay, above its current market cap. That's probably why you've seen that in the announcements for so long.
Yeah, God, would you pay $160 million for 600,000 ounces?
I wouldn't. No, I wouldn't do that.
Out this way?
I would not do that.
Yes. Well, what was Musgrove's? That was $170 million for 900,000, but much higher grade.
And a PFS.
And a PFS. And this one's, what's this, sitting at 600,000 ounces of 1.4. So, it's very, very interesting. So, because I think you look at what Brightstar's plans are to build this WA gold miner. So, big focus on, they mention a lot, regional consolidation is underway in Leonora Laverton district. So, it appears they're going to be really leveraging off that. So, and they did mention looking at other companies that, whether haven't been mismanaged or not managed at all or done really nothing.
You love your little companies, mate.
Yeah. But this is, I think I just feel maybe it's because we're so invested in this area that there is a lot still to play out once this Genesis thing goes through with St. Barbara. If
it goes through, mate, we've got a vote coming up.
Yeah, I know. Well, God, you could, move the needle here, Trav.
Yes, I have great say with my $500 of stock, mate.
I think this Menzies, Leonora, Laverton, I think it's my favourite region in WA. Got a soft spot for it.
I'm glad, mate.
I like it.
You've joined the love for Leonora. You're part of the love story now, Matty.
Yeah, right. Anyway, bloody, I'm going to be watching this. Watching old Magnetic Resources now. That's very interesting. Very interesting. God, I can't believe you hadn't heard of them either.
I'll be not adding it to my watch list.
Right. Now, let's get on to the big segment that everyone's been looking forward to this week. Now, we're going to introduce it in a new way. This is exciting, Trav. I'm surprising you with something here.
You have? You've been busy bloody doing something behind my back this morning.
Right. Press the red top left button.
Here it goes.
TRAV'S top tweets. There we go. TRAV'S top tweets. Ladies and gentlemen.
Wow.
How exciting. Now, this is a first pass attempt. But,
I'm excited, mate. Well, what an intro, Matty. Blimey. Trav's top tweets. Oh, mate, here we go again. We had good feedback last week. People liked it. Twitter loved it.
Twitter did love it.
Twitter loved it.
Got some mixed feedback. Someone got some interesting feedback from someone that's not on Twitter.
Yeah. Wow.
That I did digest.
Yeah. Well,
I don't think you did.
We're going to persist. Anyway, so we've got four tweets again today. So we'll kick things off, Matty, with a new friend of the pod. So number 4 top tweet of the week goes to our good friend, Mr. Emmanuel Dat. Daddy Dat, as you like to call him.
The Datsun 180B. What a legend.
Thanks to Daddy. He made us all wiser on niobium yesterday. And when I checked out his Twitter feed, Matty, it turns out he'd been also talking about our new favourite M&A deal. Emmanuel Dat, he says, MGV catch a bid with 30 cents in WGX paper. Interesting thing that no other strategic buyer can afford cash. So it's going to be a paper battle. Whose would you want to hold as an MGV holder? Westgold or Ramelius? Interesting one there.
Good analysis.
Mr. Dat.
180.
I think it all depends on who offers more and if Ramelius even come to the party. So we'll keep our eyes peeled. Number 3, top tweet of the week, goes to Mr. Maturing Minerals. And what he's done is he's taken a screenshot of, or he's shared a screenshot of what appears to be a Morgan's Broker report, where it sort of says, one quote in this Morgan's Broker report is Pilbara Minerals, and the commentary is, buybacks or a special dividend is a strong possibility in our view in the next 6 months. What Mr. Maturing Minerals says is, Morgan's thinking a buyback is on the cards doesn't make sense to me. Why would Pilbara buy back its own stock? Makes no sense. I actually quite like the combo that flowed beyond it as well, as one punter responds to him and says, because when you use a reasonable forward price curve, Pilbara trades at about 5x/3 times FY25/26 free cash flow. It makes total sense for a company to buy back its own stock at current levels versus such growth and cash flow generation potential. Maturing Minerals responds, you don't buy back your own stock when you're in a growth phase with years of CapEx/OpEx ahead. Dividend is the only way they should redistribute to shareholders. Other than that, everything should go into expansion. So we've got split views here, Matty, on how Pilbara should be allocating this big, giant cash war chest that they've got. Mr. Maturing Minerals thinks it's dividends of the way and expansion. You see,
What's your thoughts, Trav? What would you do?
well, Matty, it doesn't matter what I would do, but I can tell you one thing. I get the feeling that, buybacks and dividends might not be the preferred option. We've seen some commentary from Dryblower and in mining news about Pilbara's appetite for M&A. And I think when you look at the fact that they hired the investment bank that's done the most lithium M&A transactions globally as their chief development officer, that's probably an indication that they're going to allocate that cash war chest to M&A. And I did notice the chief development officer building out their business development team, hiring on Seek. So keep your eyes peeled on that front.
You don't need too many hands on deck to do a share buyback plan, do you?
Business development equals M&A, Matty.
Very good. Good digging, Trav. I like it.
Number 2, top tweet of the week goes to buy low, sell high. He says,
I like the news voice you get on this too. You've got a real newsreader voice. I like it. Good friend of the show, buy low, sell high. Right.
Novonix. He goes, deal with LG is awesome. $30 million convertible note, in brackets, investment agreement, lol. And what he's done, he's taken a screenshot of Novonix's announcement. They've agreed to this deal with LG, and they've titled it a US $30 million investment agreement. But he's highlighted the dot point that says we issue US $30 million worth of unsecured convertible notes. Now, I think this is a topic for another episode, Matty, about the long history of convertible notes being unfavourable to existing equity holders. But and I think there's a bit
getting them in. They're like quicksand, aren't they?
Yeah, they're
get stuck.
They can serve a purpose, and like at times, but there's like a lot of examples of it not being a good outcome to shareholders, and clearly that's in the mind of Mr. Buy Low, Sell High on this one. So interesting thing. I think we're gonna have to follow up with another episode on that one.
Yeah, very much so. Right, number 1, Trav.
Number one top tweet of the week.
Top tweets.
Oh, I like this one. Is number 1 top tweet of the week goes to Mondi Invest. Now, there's a bit of a thread that sort of, prefaces the tweet that I really like here. And there's a bit of back and forth discussion. One punter says, if your strategy is to buy assets profitable at $50 to $70 per pound, then sure, Bannerman or DPLO is not for you. If, however, you've done the supply-demand homework and you know the prices are headed well north of $90 per pound, term prices, I'm not even talking spot here, Namibia is a place to be. Now, you scroll down later in the thread, and the tweet that I love from Mondi, he goes, to be honest, when someone says with absolute certainty that they know the prices are headed well north of US $90 per pound, I can tell they've already taken the pill. This time is different, said about one of the most volatile and opaquely traded commodities in the world. Sigh. Well done, Mondi. Loved it.
Cheers, Mondi. Nothing like a bit of Twitter confidence, eh, Trav?
I love it, mate. People are bold. Very bold on Twitter.
Crisp today, mate.
Yep. Crisper.
Yeah. There's a bit of editing to do, but don't worry about that. Beautiful, mate. Let's look out. There's a bit of movement in the market, I reckon, coming up, and we're going to be right at the bloody helm to deliver it to the money miners.
Yeah. And if the money miners have any questions for Mr. Williams, let us know.
Yes, very much so,
mate. Hootaroo.
Hootaroo, money miners.
The information contained in this episode of Money of Mine is of general nature only and does not take into account the objectives, financial situation or needs of any particular person. Before making any investment decision, you should consult with your financial advisor and consider how appropriate the advice is to your objectives, financial situation and needs.